I see you got the sign there. Are you guys representing a certain group, or?
Our group right now is called Tenna Free. So like Tennessee, but Tenna Free. So TENNEFREE.org.
Gotcha. Okay. Yep. And you guys are here armed?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Are they loaded?
Well, we don't answer that.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm trying to figure out, what prompted you to
Tennessee.
Come out
so Tennessee is one of a few states among states like California and Illinois and New York that don't allow people to carry a loaded rifle. So therefore, we're not going to state whether or not our rifles are loaded.
Okay, so talk to me about why you're here in the first place.
So like personally, I believe that exercising a right is necessary to retain a right. A right on exercise is a right forfeit. So it is both the right to keep and bear arms, and those arms don't just mean a pistol concealed. Those arms mean all of the terrible implements of a soldier designed to ensure that we have freedom in this country.
Well, you can see why someone might feel a little uneasy seeing 3 armed men.
I know a lot of people have watched too much TV, and that's another reason why we're here, is to get people used to it. Like, yes, you can see someone with a gun, just like, I mean, I don't like police. I've had terrible experiences with police, and I watch all the YouTube videos of police hurting people, innocent people, who are not fighting them, and they hurt and kill those people. And I've watched it on countless videos. I'm not a big fan of police, but they're armed, but we just have to be used to it. I don't want to disarm the police, and they better not want to disarm me. So everybody can be armed and safe together. Yeah.
Well, freedom is scary, right? But imagine how terrifying it must have been for the men that bought and paid for that freedom. We're not even carrying any weight on our shoulders compared to those great men. We're just making sure that they're upheld.
Now, have you experienced any type of tension between whether it's Tennessee Highway Patrol or, people who've been protesting? Has that been an issue, or is it just...
In Nashville, I would say no, except for a few, drunk people on Broadway. But besides that, no, everybody's been pretty cool.
How often are you walking around with rifles like this, or heavily armed? How often are you walking around heavily armed like this?
As often as it's
maybe once a week, couple times a week, yeah.
I see. What would you say is the most important thing that you hope lawmakers or anyone really takes away from the fact that you guys are here right now?
That we want to protect both. And you shouldn't have to choose between one or the other.
Okay, you want to protect both?
Yes.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, and I would say they need to be reminded of who actually has the power, and that is the people, because America has an armed populace, which is the intention of the Second Amendment, to ensure that the people always have the power, and that we don't turn into a country like Nazi Germany or Mao's Communist China or Stalin's Soviet Union or Castro's Cuba or Pol Pot's Cambodia, so that we don't turn into a country like that. I mean, it's very tragic that there are criminals who commit crime. I want to see more people defend themselves and carry a gun to defend themselves to prevent crime, and so that the good guys are safe. We're not going to get rid of guns here, and I wouldn't want to even if we could, because a firearm allows someone who allows a female, allows someone who is small, someone who's physically handicapped to defend themselves, as well as a strong, large male who's hopped up on drugs. And but I would say, the unfortunate crime that occurs is an acceptable trade-off to ensure that we don't have 200 million people being slaughtered by their own governments like we did from the year 1900 to 2000. Those were non-soldiers, non-combative, not in war. These are civilians. And I previously dated a woman from Africa who was in one of the genocide camps that was attacked, and she survived. Lots of her family did not. And those people were unarmed. They couldn't defend themselves against the murderous psychopaths that wanted to hurt them. And I don't want to see that here. I don't want to see that. It's happened all over the world. It doesn't happen here in America.
Ask you this last quick question, and let me just make sure I grab the microphone for this, just to make sure that we can actually, in case that is getting in the way. Okay. I just have one last quick question for
Oh yeah, sure. Let me make sure I'm recording too. I just want to check mine. I was like posting the uncut. You know, I know you guys are like pressed for time what you can publish, but
You're fine.
it's nice to be able to post the uncut interview. So
Yeah.
all right.
Okay. So I also realized that I didn't catch the spelling of your first and last name.
Sure.
Do you mind?
Yeah, Sean, S-H-A-U-N, Kranish, K-R-A-N-I-S-H.
And you are with Tenafree.
Tenafree, yep.
Okay. So,
.org.
okay. So, you know, we've heard the argument from a number of people here earlier saying we don't necessarily want to take away anyone's rights, but we want to make sure that guns are not put in the hands of people who are not mentally stable to have guns. And so what would you say for those folks who are trying to make that argument? And, you know, what would you say in response to that?
So I would say, you know, in our system of civil justice, you are innocent until you're proven guilty. I do believe some people are dangerous. Those people who I don't trust with a gun, I don't trust them with liquid bleach and acid and gasoline and a car or a truck. I don't trust them with any of those dangerous items that can hurt and maim and kill a lot of people. Guns are particularly special because it is a guaranteed constitutional right, and we do not lose that right ahead of time. This isn't Minority Report pre-crime. We don't take that away. We don't have prior restraint. Like when you walk into the theater, yeah, you can't yell fire in a theater, but you don't get gagged when you walk into the theater. So we don't lose our guns ahead of time. If somebody did something wrong, prosecute and jail them, imprison them. If someone is unstable, they can be instituted for a temporary time period and taken out of public so that they can't hurt anybody. You take away somebody's guns, you probably won't get them all. A lot of people have a lot of guns. If you come to my house, take away my guns, I guarantee you won't get them all. I've got guns all over the place. So you're not going to get them all. It's not going to work. And I can go and get a gun very easily in many, many places. So we got 400 million guns in this country. You can't keep them out of the wrong hands. But what you can do is prosecute the actual criminals. And if you want to protect children, the adults who are tasked with protecting the children, that would be teachers, administrators, and staff at the school, need to do their job and protect the children. It's their job. They should be able to be armed. They should be able to have a pistol to protect those kids. Locked doors won't cut it. School resource officers won't cut it. One school resource officer is not enough to protect hundreds of children. Those adults need to start acting like adults.
You know, we've talked about this issue before, and, you know, you mentioned there are two things you want to happen. Protect kids, but also protect your rights. And so my question for you is, what would you say for the folks who say, like a teacher, for example, who says, I don't feel comfortable carrying a firearm. I don't have the training. I'm not prepared to pull the trigger and end a life if I'm called to do so. And so what would you say for that?
So not every teacher, in many states allow teachers to carry. They don't mandate every teacher carry. It's a choice. So some teachers will get trained and some teachers will carry and act responsibly as they should. Other teachers will depend on locked doors and maybe the Uvalde Police Department to come and save them after an hour and a half.
Gentlemen, I want to thank you for your time. I appreciate it. I'll give you that right there.
Thank you, too.
I'll give you my card in case you guys have any questions or anything.
Cool.
Phone number, email's right there.
All right.
So what I'll just do is I'll probably just grab some photos of you guys while you're here.
Cool. Yeah. Please do.